Hello again, and welcome to another episode of CISO Tradecraft, where we provide opportunities to give you learning and knowledge and a little bit of wisdom to help you succeed in your career as a cybersecurity manager and ultimately as a security leader. This is G. Mark Hardy, and it's my privilege to be with you this week. Episode 27. We made it through half a year. And that seemed like a good time for everyone to stop and pause a little bit and reflect. And one of the tools that I've encountered is actually a innovation toolkit on MITRE's website that talks about rose, bud, and thorn. And it's an exercise that allows us to identify opportunities to make positive change. When we talk about roses, we say, hey, what's working? What's going well? Buds can be new ideas, things that we'd like to go ahead and explore because we think it's wonderful. And then the thorns are maybe things that you might need to stop. Well, how would you do something like that? You'd bring together your team, get them in a room, and perhaps even pass out colored, of course, now we're coming out of COVID, hopefully we can actually do this, but you can do it online, is things such as, their example, colored Post-it notes. Maybe red ones are for the rose, greens are for the bud, and blues could be for the thorn. And then what we want to do is generate ideas, get people thinking, and don't interrupt, just observe what they're doing. And one idea per Post-it. Or if you're doing it online, perhaps have a forum where people can add comments into 3 different columns. Plenty of tools available for that. Set up a Google Doc, etc., etc. And then kind of look at the trends. If you see more than one person saying the same thing, it's probably worth taking a look at. So we've been on the air now for 6 months, and we'd like to extend that exercise to all of our listeners. Please take a moment or two and go to CISOTradecraft.com and tell us what you like about the show. What's working? We're not always good at guessing. Maybe we're doing the right thing and we didn't even realize it, or we're working really, really hard to deliver something good, and that's working too. It's great to know. Let us know things perhaps we should do less of, because there's some things, of course, that don't work. And then any ideas you have for future episodes, this is your show. This is for you. And it's an opportunity for us to go ahead and make sure we address the needs and requirements that you have. Now, if you hadn't noticed, this show is a lot shorter than normal. It's probably everybody knows by now, we lost a giant in the industry this past week, friend Dan Kaminsky. And I've known Dan for, he was almost 20 years, run into him at conferences and shows and the like. And in a way, the shorter show is sort of a moment of silence for Dan. Amazing person, brilliant, and always full of joy. I mean, you always saw a smile on this guy's face, and he would take the greatest interest in whatever it is that you were doing. And he found some interesting things. He discovered a flaw, as most of us know, back in 2008 in DNS that could have allowed him to take over the world, but instead used it for good. Black hat presentation that he gave that year. Here's how to take down the internet, but oh, by the way, it's already been patched. And he's continued to go on and innovate things, look at people with color blindness and things like that to try to come up with ideas like the Dan Cam to help resolve that. And it was a really neat opportunity to share with him, and hard to believe he's gone. So if there's one thought that I might have for those of us who knew Dan or maybe wish we knew, is something that I wrote early this morning that I think it describes him. If you start with great humility, then you're capable of real inquiry. And then you learn through discovery, not by simply repeating what others have told you. Dan was humble, and he discovered things. Although he built on the work of others, he created so much new, amazing things that he'll be sorely missed. So May 2nd, 12 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Pacific, there begins a memorial forum online. You can search for it and you can find the link. But until next week, thank you for being part of our audience here at CISO Tradecraft.